Okay, picture this. It is the ultimate what if. You're lying in bed at like 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, replaying some conversation from 10 years ago, or maybe just last Tuesday, and you think, if I could just go back, if I could change that one thing.
It's the engine behind basically every sci-fi movie we love, right? Back to the Future, The Terminator.
Even Harry Potter gets in on it. But here's the question that actually keeps me up at night. Is that just Hollywood magic? Or is it actually physics?
It sounds like a question for a late-night philosophy class, but you're right. This is firmly rooted in hard science. We're talking about the intersection of general relativity, quantum mechanics, and thermodynamics.
So it's not just about cool DeLorean car.
No, it's about the fundamental structure of reality. And the short answer, the laws of physics don't strictly forbid it. In fact, in some edge cases, they almost seem to demand it.
That is a bold opener. And today, we're going to find out if we can actually build the machine to do it. We've got a serious stack of research for this deep dive.
You really do.
We're looking at a brand new 2025 study from Vanderbilt on time loops and entropy, classic papers from Caltech on wormholes, and a fascinating 2024 paper on a warp drive that might just solve the whole energy problem.
And some reality checks from NASA, which is always good. It's a really diverse mix. We have the theoretical math, but we also have the practical engineering constraints.
And that's where things get messy.
Oh, yeah.
So our mission today is simple. Figure out if time travel is actually possible, how we might build the bus to get us there, and most importantly, whether the universe would actually let us, kill our own grandfathers.
The paradoxes.
Yeah.
The universe's way of saying, nice try.
Exactly. But before we get to the brain-melting paradoxes, let's start with the easy part. Because according to Dr. Mark Raymond at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, time travel isn't just possible. We're all doing it right now.
We are. In a very literal sense, we're all time travelers. We're moving forward at a rate of 1 second per second. But he's getting at something more specific, which goes back to Einstein's special relativity.
This is the idea that space and time aren't two separate things, right?
No.
They're one mashup called space-time.
Precisely. And there's a fundamental rule in space-time, a cosmic speed limit, the speed of light. And Einstein showed that your motion through space and your motion through time are, well, they're inextricably linked. Think of it like a budget.
A budget, like a spending allowance.
Exactly. You've got a fixed amount of speed to spend moving through space-time. If you use all your budget moving through space going really, really fast, you have less left over to move through time.
So the faster I go physically, the slower time passes for me.
That's the essence of time dilation.
Yeah. I love the classic astronaut scenario for this.
Yeah.
It breaks my brain every time, but it nails the point. So imagine a 30-year-old astronaut. She leaves Earth on a ship going 99.5% the speed of light.
Yeah.
She's gone for 5 years, according to her ship's clock. She celebrates 5 birthdays, reads 5 years worth of books. When she gets back, she's 35.
Right. To her, biologically and mechanically, only 5 years have passed.
But when she lands, she finds out her classmates, who were 30 when she left, are now 80 years old.
She's effectively traveled 45 years into their future.
And what's crucial here is that this isn't just theory. This isn't just on a chalkboard somewhere.
No, not at all. It's proven physics. We see it every single day.
We do. I definitely don't see people aging differently on my commute.
Well, you don't see it at highway speeds because the difference is, nanoseconds. But we see it with our technology. GPS is the perfect example.
The satellites for Google Maps.
Exactly. Those satellites are moving fast, about 14,000 kilometers per hour. Plus, they're farther from Earth's gravity, which also affects time.
Right. Gravity slows time down.
So when you combine their speed and the weaker gravity, the clocks on those satellites tick faster than ours on the ground by about 38 microseconds every day.
38 microseconds doesn't sound like much.
It sounds negligible, but if the engineers ignored it, the GPS system would drift by kilometers every single day. Your map app would be useless in 24 hours.
So rapid travel into the future is scientifically sound. It's just an engineering problem. We just need a truly massive amount of energy.
The physics allows it, the headache. The real nightmare for physicists is trying to go back.
This is where it gets really good.
Yeah.
Because going forward is just waiting faster. But going backward seems to break the most basic rule of all. Cause and effect.
It challenges causality, yeah. The idea that the cause has to come before the effect. But here's the surprise. Einstein's general relativity, his theory of gravity, it doesn't actually forbid it. His equations allow for something called closed time-like curves.
Yeah.
CTCs.
Okay, closed time-like curves. What does that mean in, plain English.
Imagine space-time as a flat sheet of paper. Normally, you just move from past to future, but if you have enough mass or energy, you can bend that paper. A CTC is like rolling it into a cylinder, so if you walk in a straight line, you end up right back where and when you started.
So you don't put the car in reverse, you keep driving forward, but the road itself loops back to yesterday.
That's a great way to put it. Under extreme conditions, space-time can curve so much that the future connects to the past.
Okay, so the math says maybe, but logic says hold on. Which brings us to the grandfather paradox.
The classic problem, the ultimate logical knot.
Okay, so the setup is, you find a CTC, you go back in time, and you kill your grandfather before he meets your grandmother.
Which means your parent is never born, which means you are never born.
And if you're never born,
You can't travel back in time to kill him. So he lives, you're born, you go back. And you're stuck in an impossible loop.
pop culture loves this. In Back to the Future, Marty McFly starts fading out of photos. But in physics, you can't just fade out, right? The universe has to make sense.
Right. Matter can't just vanish. This is why Stephen Hawking proposed what he called the chronology protection conjecture.
Which is basically the universe saying absolutely not.
Essentially. Hawking suggested that the laws of physics, maybe at the quantum level, would actively conspire to prevent these loops from forming. Like radiation would build up and destroy the time machine the second you tried to turn it on.
Didn't someone try to test this? Not with people, obviously, but with photons.
Yes, that was Seth Lloyd at MIT back in 2010. They couldn't build a real time machine, of course, but they created a quantum simulation that mimicked a CTC for particles of light.
So they sent a photon back to terminate its previous self. A microscopic terminator.
In a manner of speaking, yeah. And the result was incredible. The closer the photon got to creating a paradox, to doing something logically inconsistent, the more frequently the experiment just failed.
Failed how?
The probability of the photon entering the loop just dropped. It suggests that if you tried to create a paradox, probability itself would turn against you. The gun would jam.
So, Granddad is safe. Which brings us to some newer solutions. Let's talk about the multiverse.
The many worlds interpretation. The idea here is that when you go back, you don't arrive in your past, let's call it World A, you actually create a new branching timeline, World B.
So in this new timeline, this World B,
Yeah.
I can kill my grandfather.
Yes. In World B, you are never born. But you, the traveler from World A, are fine. You're just a tourist in a new reality you created.
But that means I can never get back to the timeline I left. I'm stranded.
Correct. You've exited your own history.
Yeah.
Which solves the paradox, but it also explains why we haven't seen any time travelers.
Because if they went back, they branched off. They aren't in our timeline anymore. We might be the original timeline that everyone leaves but no one returns to.
Exactly. It's one solution. But there's another one that's gaining ground, and it connects to that new Vanderbilt study you mentioned.
This is the 2025 paper by Lorenzo Gavesino. He looked at this from a thermodynamics angle, right? The arrow of time.
Yes, the second law. Entropy disorder always increases. You can break an egg, you can't unbreak it. A time loop seems to violate that.
So how does Gavesino get around that?
His study suggests that inside a CTC, quantum fluctuations could locally reverse entropy. The universe kind of corrects itself to allow the loop. But here's the kicker. His work supports the idea of self-consistency.
Okay, unpack that. Self-consistency.
It just means no paradoxes. It's also called the Novikov self-consistency principle. It says if you go back in time, you simply cannot change the past in a way that creates a contradiction.
Wait, this isn't Back to the Future then?
Yeah.
This is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
That is the perfect example of Novikov's principle.
In the movie, Harry is saved by a mysterious figure. Later, he travels back and realizes he was the mysterious figure. He didn't change anything, he just did what had already happened.
Precisely. The Vanderbilt study reinforces this. The universe wouldn't allow a state that defies logic. So if you go back to kill your grandfather, you will fail. You'll slip on a banana peel, or you'll wound him, and he meets your grandmother at the hospital because of what you did.
The universe turns you into a puppet to save its own logic. That's kind of terrifying.
It has major implications.
Okay, so we have the theory. We have relativity allowing for it, and either multiverses or self-consistency to fix the paradoxes. Now let's get to the hardware. How do we actually build this thing?
We've got a few blueprints on the table, ranging from impossibly large to incredibly complex.
Let's start with the one everyone knows, the wormhole.
This was explored by Morris and Thorne at Caltech in '88. They described it as a handle in the topology of space, a shortcut.
But a shortcut just gets me there faster, not yesterday.
Right. To make it a time machine, you have to move one end of it, you take one mouth of the wormhole, put it on
But there's a catch. There's always a catch.
a big one. Wormholes slam shut instantly. To keep one open, you need something called exotic matter.
Which is not just rare matter.
No, it's matter with negative energy density. It has anti-gravity. It pushes things apart. We don't exactly have buckets of it lying around. And you can't go back further than when the machine was built.
So no visiting the dinosaurs. Okay, blueprint number 2. The Tipler cylinder.
This one's wild. Frank Tipler, 1974. He imagined an extremely massive cylinder spinning incredibly fast. It would create something called frame dragging.
It drags space-time along with it, like a spoon in honey.
Yes, and if it's intense enough, it tilts the paths light can take backward. If you fly your ship in a careful spiral around it, you can follow a path into your own past.
But I'm sensing another engineering problem. How big does it need to be?
Well, Tipler's math worked best if the cylinder was infinite in length.
Infinite. That's hard to manufacture.
Slightly. And Hawking argued that if you try to build a finite one, you run into the same old problem. You need negative energy.
So we're stuck again. Negative energy for the wormhole, negative energy for the cylinder. But wait, this is where that 2024 paper comes in, the one by Patrick Marquet. This one claims to solve that exact problem.
This is a very fresh take. Marquet is looking at warp drives.
Like Star Trek.
Similar concept, based on the Alcubierre drive. But Marquet combines it with math from Gödel's rotating universe models. He was the first to find these time loops in Einstein's equations.
So what's the innovation? How does he get around the need for exotic matter?
He proposes using electromagnetism. He suggests that circulating electric charges interacting with a co-moving electromagnetic field could create the necessary negative energy effects, or negentropy, to sustain the warp bubble.
Wait, so we don't need unobtainium. We just need magnets and electricity.
In a very specific, extremely high energy configuration, yes. The paper suggests that during the trip, the spacecraft would experience negative entropy. It would effectively surf a wave of space-time into the past.
And can you get home?
The paper actually addresses that. It suggests a different path, a reverse time orientation that would allow you to return to your own present.
Okay, so let's recap. We have the theory of relativity says time is flexible. We have the blueprints, wormholes, cylinders, these new warp drives. And we have the safety mechanisms, either multiverses or self-correcting entropy.
We really just lack the infinite cylinders or the, galactic scale energy sources to test any of it. But the fact that math holds up it's incredible.
It really is.
Yeah.
But what's the so what here? Why does this all matter? Is it just so we can fantasize about buying Bitcoin in 2010?
Well, that would be nice. But scientifically, studying these extreme edge cases, these loops, these singularities, is how we find the next laws of physics. We're trying to unite gravity and quantum mechanics. Understanding how time travel might work helps us refine the fundamental laws of reality.
It's like stress testing a video game engine. You try to glitch it to see how the code is written.
That is a perfect analogy.
But before we wrap up, I have one final thought that's been bugging me. If the self-consistency theory is true, the one where the universe corrects your actions to stop paradoxes, what does that say about us?
It raises a pretty profound question about free will.
Right. If I go back to shoot my grandfather and the gun jams, or I miss, am I making those choices? Or am I just an actor following a script written by thermodynamics?
If the universe essentially forces you to fulfill history, then choice might just be an illusion. You're just another variable in an equation that has already been solved.
That's a thought to chew on while you're trying to sleep tonight.
Indeed.
We're going to leave it there. Keep looking at the stars and maybe check your clocks every once in a while.
You never know when they might be running a little slow.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Catch you in the future.